24, 1971, in the United States, a plane from Northwest Orient Airlines left Portland for a short trip. It was scheduled to take only 30 minutes to reach the nearby city of Seattle. There weren't many people on the plane, just 36 passengers and 6 crew members. But what these passengers didn't know was that there was a hijacker among them. His name was D.B. Cooper. He looked just like any other businessman, wearing a suit, a white shirt, and black pants, and seemed to be in his mid-40s. He intentionally sat in the plane's last row, seat number 18E. As soon as the plane took off, this man introduced himself to an air hostess. He mentioned his name, Dan Cooper, and the hostess's name was Florence Schaffner. With a big smile, he handed a note to the air hostess. Schaffner, a 23-year-old woman, thought that this man was trying to flirt with her. So she took the note and kept it with her without reading it. Seeing this, Cooper told her that she should read the note. He said that he had a bomb. When Schaffner opened the note, it was written clearly, "Miss, I have a bomb in my briefcase, and I want you to sit by me." Schaffner quietly sat next to Cooper, but she still couldn't believe that he actually had a bomb. So Cooper opened his briefcase to show her some red cylinders, wires, and a big cylindrical battery. There was no doubt that it was a bomb. Cooper then made his demands to the air hostess. He wanted $200,000 in cash by 5 p.m. that evening. He wanted all that cash in a bag along with 2 back parachutes and 2 front parachutes, and a fuel truck ready to refuel the plane. He wanted her to blow up the plane if he noticed anything strange or threatening. The other passengers on the plane were unaware of this situation. Air hostess Schaffner didn't want the other passengers to know. She quietly went into the cockpit and showed Cooper's note to the pilots. Another air hostess, Tina Macklow, was informed about this, and she sat beside Cooper. With the help of these 2 air hostesses, the contact between the plane's cockpit and Cooper was maintained very well. The pilots informed the air traffic controller, and soon the news reached the president of the airline, Donald Nairobi. He was the decision maker and made an interesting decision. He told the staff to ensure full compliance with Cooper's demands and to fulfill all demands made by him. After coordinating with the FBI, he talked to a Seattle bank to arrange the money. The bank had a huge bundle of money for such emergencies. However, there was something special about this bundle of money. We will talk about it later in the video. But you must be wondering, why did the airline's president decide to cooperate with the hijacker? The reason behind this was reputation. The airline's president didn't want the news of the hijack to be spread all over the world, leading to heavy losses for his company. So to keep this issue under wraps, he was willing to fulfill the demands. The only problem was that they needed some time to arrange the money, but the flight was only supposed to be half an hour long. So the pilots were told that instead of landing the plane, they were to keep circling around Seattle until they could arrange the money on the ground. This half-hour flight gradually became 3 hours long. Passengers were still unaware of what was happening. The flight pilots announced that they were facing a minor technical problem causing the delay, so passengers believed this. Finally, the flight landed at Seattle Airport at 5:46 p.m. According to Cooper's instruction, the plane was parked far from the main terminal building. An airline representative approached the plane with a bag of money and the parachutes. When the items were given to Cooper, he allowed the passengers and flight attendants to leave the plane, except for Tina Macklow. After this, according to the plan, the plane was refueled and took off again. This time, only the pilots were on the plane along with Cooper and Tina. Cooper started giving instructions to the pilots again, detailing the destination of flight, the speed, and even the very angle of the flight. He directed them to fly the plane toward Mexico City at an altitude of 10,000 feet, with the wings positioned at 15 degrees. As for the plane's speed, he wanted to fly as slowly as possible. The pilots informed Cooper that flying with this configuration would make it difficult for them to reach Mexico City because the plane did not have enough fuel. But Cooper was not worried about it. Cooper told them to fly as he directed. What happened next is completely unbelievable, no less than a film story. Cooper told Tina to go to cockpit and lock the door. Cooper was the only person outside the cockpit. He took out his parachutes and prepared to dive. A few minutes later, a warning light flashed in the cockpit, indicating that the rear staircase had been deployed. This was a unique feature of these planes back then. Boeing 727 planes had an aft staircase at the back. In the photos, you can see how the stairs were deployed from the back. Cooper deployed these stairs and jumped out with the parachutes and the money. The pilots and the air hostesses did not see this happen because they were locked in the cockpit, and back then there was no hole in the cockpit door through which they could see outside. But at 8:13 p.m., the pilots noticed that the back part of the plane suddenly tilted upwards, and they had to recalibrate and relevel the plane. After this, the pilots flew the plane to Nevada and landed in the city of Reno. The police were informed and they investigated the plane, but they didn't find any trace of Cooper. The only things the police could find were a tie with a clip on it and some torn parts of the parachutes, which Cooper had used to cover the bag of money. Apart from this, they found some personal items belonging to Cooper, like the cigarette he was smoking on the plane. Smoking was allowed in the airplanes back then.
This is D.B. Cooper's ticket in the name of Dan Cooper.
He needed a way to secure the money on his bag.
Investigators conducted a thorough investigation and found 66 unidentified fingerprints. These fingerprints belonged to neither the crew members nor the other passengers. However, the suitcase containing the bomb, the bag of money, and the parachutes were all missing, just like Cooper. From that day, the FBI began its investigation to find Cooper, but no trace of him was found. The investigation continued for 45 years and was officially closed in 2016. However, many questions remained unanswered. This case is the only unsolved hijacking in history and one of the greatest mysteries for the FBI. Who was Cooper? What happened to him? Was the money ever recovered by the police? There are too many questions. Let's try to unravel this mystery. Things are very interesting regarding this incident. First, during the hijack, no other passenger knew that their plane had been hijacked. Neither was anyone killed nor was anyone injured in this hijack. Many people claim that this was due to Tina McLeod. They call her the hero of hijacking because she was ensured that Cooper remained calm throughout the flight. His demands were met and no panic situation was created that could cause a ruckus or result in someone getting injured. The co-pilot of the plane, Rota Zach, later said, "She was so calm, cool and collected that I could never think of anyone better to have sitting next to someone who would commit a criminal act like this." The second interesting thing was about the name of D.B. Cooper. As I told you in the beginning, that guy's name was actually Dan Cooper, but today most people call this the mystery of D.B. Cooper. How did Dan become D.B.? This is because of a mistake by a news reporter back then. There was a reporter named James Long who was late for meeting his deadline. So, in a hurry, while talking to his police source, he misheard the name. The police said that the hijacker's name was Dan Cooper, but the reporter heard D.B. Cooper and he used this name in his news report. This report, which was discussed by other journalists in their newspapers, led to use of the name D.B. Cooper on their channels. This is how the name of hijacker changed. Anyway, a hijacker shouldn't be expected to use his real name. The FBI's initial investigation showed that when Cooper jumped out of the plane, he had strapped the cash around himself, and the cash weighed around 10 kilos. Cooper used two parachutes to jump, one strapped in front and one behind. The police had an idea of the area in which Cooper jumped. He jumped in the southwest area of Washington state, where there were pine forests, lakes, and canyons. Bears also inhabited the area. Initially, investigators believed that there was no chance of Cooper surviving due to several factors. First, he jumped from a height of 10,000 feet in pitch darkness. It was completely dark by 8 p.m. Secondly, the clothes Cooper was wearing were not suitable for jumping. He was dressed in pants and shirt, jumping while it was raining outside with heavy black clouds in the sky at an altitude of 5,000 feet. It means that Cooper could not see anything while falling. Moreover, the wind speed was also an important factor. It was estimated when Cooper jumped, he would have been traveling at a speed of 320 km per hour. The United States Parachute Association believed that there was an additional problem, the cold water. In November, the temperature in this region of America is very low. If Cooper had fallen into a lake, it would have been almost impossible difficult to escape from them. If Cooper jumped into really cold water, he would start to get very cold super quickly, which is called hypothermia. Also, because he was carrying something heavy, it would have made swimming much harder for him. But even though it was a really tough situation, there are some clues that suggest Cooper might have survived that dangerous jump.